mom&I. Today we have Dr. Edward Bertolini today, superintendent from Leonia Public High School District. Thank you. And also we have Dr. Leticia Pantoliano, superintendent from Ridgefield School District. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
My pleasure as well.
There's a lot of confusion going on. Would you like to tell us a little bit about how your school or school district have been preparing this?
Interestingly, Leticia and I are a part of a group that meet every Wednesday of
Yes.
East Bergen superintendents. So we discuss how each school district is going to handle it, and we try to come to some kind of consensus on what's the best way to do it. So we're, I think, all going back to school normal in September. The big questions that exist still is lunchtime and masks, how we're going to handle masks and lunchtime compared to the vaccinated students versus the unvaccinated students. So it is still early July, middle of July, still early in the summer, so we have not determined it yet for sure. With the variant increasing numbers, the governor may say something, the Board of Education and the Department of Education. We're not set yet, but I think right now we're still discussing it. Again, as we meet every Wednesday to review. But I think the bottom line is we're coming back to school.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing to know is that we are planning on coming back to a full day of school and having all of our students with us. I know one of the things that we've done as facilities, and I know each of the districts because we do meet every week, so you're speaking to us, but we speak to our colleagues in the area often and try to all share our good ideas with each other. One of the things that we're doing in Ridgefield is we just are in the process of purchasing air purifiers for every classroom. We've obviously made sure from the beginning that all our HVAC systems are up to date. We have decals on the floor. We want to promote social distancing whenever possible. One of the big things that we're doing next year, and I took this from Leonia.
I know she's going to talk about it.
We are trying to do an open campus lunch for next year for the high school. So we're creating a lot of outdoor spaces, outdoor eating areas for lunch and so forth, and we worked with our local fire department to be able to put some tables, not chairs, in certain places in the building so that we can just allow kids to spread out a little bit while they're eating and have that space available to them. So, there's going to be a few differences, obviously, as a result of the pandemic, but, I think that they're positive going forward, and I think that they'll last well beyond the pandemic. I know you've had, excellent results in having an open campus lunch.
Yeah, we've had an open, when I first went to Leonia 23 years ago, I was surprised that we had an open campus lunch for our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And since then, I've come to accept it as a good thing. We tell our students as they prepare to go to college, more freedom, more responsibility. So we give them the freedom to go, but they have to come back for class. Otherwise, they get in trouble. So our lunch is open.
So going back to really understanding open campus lunch, because that is kind of new to me. So exactly what does that mean? Does the students go to any classroom or can they go outside a campus? What does that exactly mean?
And that's the difference between Leonia and Ridgefield, because in Leonia, I don't want to speak for Eddie, can correct me if I'm wrong, but they can leave the school and go into the community and get lunch and so forth. In Ridgefield, like I said, we're not quite there yet, but we do allow students to eat in the hallways. That's why we're getting bistro-style tables, the high-top tables, so that they can eat in the hallway. We have picnic tables for outside, so we're creating a lot of outdoor eating spaces. They can go in the gym or any basically available location so that they can spread out, but they need to be confined by the grounds of the school. We're looking for, and I'm going to tell you, probably a lot of our neighbors are looking for lunch aids. So anybody who can spend 2 hours a day with us to help us monitor lunches, because we are trying to keep the kids out of the crowded cafeteria. So, we're all in need of lunch aids because we want to keep the kids in their classroom. They can socially distance, but they need to be monitored. So we just put out a district-wide blast looking for people who are willing to be lunch aides.
So does that mean that lunch hour is going to be increased, or
No,
was there any adjustment? They're usually very short.
No, in the high school we have a 43-minute lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how far students can go in 43 minutes.
I was going to say.
It's not unusual they come to Fort Lee for lunch.
And I think there's a lot of learning loss happening as well. Is there any way that they can make it up, or do you see anything that school is preparing?
The state is making
something
us,
for it?
which is a good thing, Start Strong program, where we'll be testing in September to make sure where we stand and where we need to improve on. So each student will have their areas they need growth on, and we'll have our teachers address that. And I'm sure Ridgefield's doing a very similar thing.
One of the positive things about all of the additional grants that came out is there's a pool of money called the ESSER funds. And it's to address learning loss, and it also addresses acceleration. So I know you are too, we're already starting to try to bring students back to school, get them into the buildings, and actually address learning loss and learning acceleration. And we were talking about the academy programs. Leonia and Ridgefield have been trying to partner on different programs. One of the things we have going on right now is we have Ridgefield students attending the SMILE program in Leonia for math acceleration.
Now you're gonna like what SMILE is.
Go ahead.
Because
I'm smiling, but I don't know what the program is.
It's called SMILE for Summer Math Institute for Leonia and Edgewater.
Oh,
So I know a lot of people
sounds
don't,
fun to me.
a lot of people don't smile for math,
No,
but we
I see.
decided to name it that. And
That sounds fun.
it's for students that want to catch up a little.
Right.
It's for students that want to advance in a course for the next year, for students that lost credit and want a recovery, but also for some students to gain math skills before they enter the class. So we have 6th graders going to 7th grade fundamentals, so they learn about 7th grade math. So it gives them a foundation. And then also for students that are lacking skills, they're able to do it. And we give significant financial aid for students that are at risk financially, so no one is hurt by their finances. And we've done that now. This is our 3rd year doing it, and Ridgefield has sent some of your students, middle school students this year.
Yeah, now speaking about how things grow organically, my middle school principal, Mr. Yang,
Yes, Jen.
is friends with your math supervisor.
Oh.
So Mr. Yang came to me and he said, would it be okay if we had some students attend the SMILE program, because we have middle school students who are looking to accelerate. And
I was going to ask
Leonia
you
has
that
been
too.
so gracious in saying,
Yeah, sure.
of course he charges us tuition, but
Very
that's
small amount too.
As a parent, I have a question. So, especially for the Leonia SMILE program, that sounds very intriguing. All the other programs as well, they are
Yes.
just fun and exciting. But can anybody sign up, or do they have to be your school students?
No,
Or
it's on our website.
I
So
see.
there's a SMILE website from our school district website. We offer programs for advancement in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry Honors and Algebra 2 Honors. We offer remediation for those subjects if the student didn't pass. And then we have programs for our middle school students to sign up for. And again, we put it in for 2 reasons a few years ago. One, a private school in the area was charging a lot of money for it, and our students were paying up to $2,000 for a course. So if you're financially struggling, there's no way you can afford that. And for a lot of our parents, $2,000 is a lot of money. So we've reduced the cost to $900, and if you're on free and reduced lunch, you pay about $200. So that was one reason. The second reason was middle school students sometimes struggle in math. And if they struggle in math, as a high school math teacher, you know this, if they don't have the skills coming into high school, they're
lost.
They're lost, okay?
right.
So we've mandated in Leonia, and I think you've done it now in Ridgefield,
Yeah.
if a student doesn't pass 7th grade math,
yeah.
they don't simply get promoted to 8th grade math, they have to take this course during the summer to get the skills they need. So that was the second reason. We didn't want them coming into high school lacking the foundational skills to be able to pass Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry. So we put that in. So for the opportunities for our students to get advancement, and we have, I think, 140 students right now this year in the program.
And I'm sure we'll be
Oh,
sending
wow.
more next year,
And,
or
and we've given
offer it
out,
ourselves.
this year we've given out $8,000 in financial assistance to our students that are at risk. So yeah, it's a good program, and as a math teacher, it makes you smile, so that's why.
Smile.
When we put it in, we put the name in originally, people just shook their head because they said, most people don't smile at math. But
Hey.
that's what they say,
Hey.
but now everyone does.
It's a wonderful opportunity for acceleration in
Yeah.
math, because sometimes it's very difficult to accelerate in math. If you're not recommended into Algebra 1 in 7th grade, you can
Yes.
never catch up to the students who really got that recommendation. And there's so many reasons that students may not be ready for that in 7th grade, but may be honors and advanced students. So I think that this is a wonderful opportunity to help students really catch up and get to the calculus AB or the calculus BC.
It's a nice program. And Jin Lee, our math supervisor, he does a wonderful job. So it's usually up on the website. sometime February, early March.
I'm sure it's going to put a smile on a lot of math teachers' face
Yes.
as well. So that sounds great. Okay, so thank you so much for talking about this very hard, difficult topic. That's COVID.
Difficult year.
For
Yes.
everybody, right? Now let's move on to another very hard topic that was happening.